So the movie opens up with a cop calling up Tiffany saying, hey, I'm on my way. Don't forget my money. After he takes Chucky's remains out of a cage, locker or whatever, from a evidence depository. And Tiffany, played by Jennifer Tilly, in one of her borderline worst performances ever. Go ahead, hate me all you want down there. But I fucking hate this character in this movie. She annoys the shit out of me, human and in doll form. She's just not very enjoyable at all. You know? And Chucky's not that great himself. Brad Dourif is at his absolute worst in this movie. Chucky himself does not make me smile most of the time, even though he's supposed to. One or two good lines that he has. I'd have to say that my favorite line that he says from this movie, what else? Oh yeah, whenever him and Tiffany are having sex in that one scene. Yes, they actually have sex, but you only see their shadow. You only see their shadows in the fireplace at the hotel scene. And it's where Chucky says, have I got a rubber? Tiff, look at me, I'm all rubber. Whenever he says that, I still, it's kind of a knee slapper, but it's the only one in the entire movie. And then the one where he's right about to get shot to death towards the end of the movie, and he's like, go ahead and shoot, I'll be back, I always come back. Yeah, but dying is such a bitch. Something basically like that. Basically, back to the beginning. Tiffany takes Chucky's body home to her trailer, and then sews it back together. Damn good song by Rob Zombie, Living Dead Girl. I don't know all the words, so don't fucking request it. I don't even think that they play the whole thing, but subtitles are too fucking slow on the DVD. They pop up on screen, but they take a few seconds. So they don't go whenever I need them to. So yeah. And then Tiffany basically tries to use the spell from a book called Voodoo for Dummies. What the fuck is that? I think that they used that once in this movie alone. This movie tried to ditch Andy Barclay. I'm so thankful that they did, but they are one movie too late. They should have done that after Child's Play 2, and then done maybe something involving Andy in the third act of this one, being notified that Chucky's back, and there are now two killer dolls on the loose, and he has to take them both down, and he does. And finally succeeds in the end, instead of killing Chucky and then getting hauled off somewhere, and more bullshit for him. Because we don't see him until 3 films after Bride, Cult. Even though the post-credits scene in Curse, even though he's barely even in Cult at all, thank you very much, Don fucking Mancini. Fucking up the 4th one now. They wanted to take it in a new direction, like I was saying, but they fucking fail. 4. All 4 films after Child's Play 3, not the remake, we'll get to that later, but 1 through Cult, all 7, fail. All of them have things wrong with them. Bringing Andy back was the worst decision I've ever fucking heard in my life. Because I saw the Cult of Chucky 3 times, or 7 times this year, ever since it came out. Anyway, I was not pleased with how they treated Andy's big return. They showed him 3 goddamn times in the whole movie. Once in the very beginning, once halfway through, actually 4 times, but 3 where he's talking to Tiffany and driving to the mental asylum, and then 4 times where he gets himself committed. And that's the last that we see of him for the movie. Big fucking letdown, big F-U to Andy's return. Why'd you bring him back anyway? Why'd you even do a 4? You see why I hate these movies so much? Anyway, back to Bride. This other piece of shit sequel that shouldn't have existed and had no fucking place. You could just go right to Curse and it wouldn't make that much of a problem. Except you would need to watch 4 and maybe 5. Well, you need to watch 5 in order to understand anything. Because of Tiffany's human body. I'm getting ahead of myself. God, these movies are shit. They have good things about them, but I'm trying to focus more on the bad, like, piece of shit things about them. Chucky comes alive, kills her friend Damien by yanking his chain out from his lip, and he bleeds to death, and Chucky suffocates him with a pillow and sits on it. Chucky and Tiffany have a little thing here, and Chucky says that he was never going to marry Tiffany because Tiffany brought him back to think that, explain to him that she wanted to marry him because she still loved him. But nope, so she throws him into a fucking little crib here, and then she lays on her bed and cries next to Damien's body. Ha ha, a little dark joke. Bullshit. Next day, Jesse, the guy who plays Jesse in this movie, bit of a whining jackass in this movie. It was his first role, but I mean, I don't hate the guy. There's one character, Jade's uncle, the Warren, the chief of police, basically. He's an asshole in this movie, and trust me, he's not even the worst that this movie delivers. No, no, no. You will be surprised of the big fucking worst character of this movie out of all 8. Out of all 8. And I know we're not supposed to sympathize with this character, but you've got to understand, this character, even though he has 1 or 2 funny lines, you know who it is. His name's in the goddamn title. It's Chucky. Yeah. He is the most fucking annoying and just not fun to watch in this movie. The third one, I couldn't get past the face, his look of his face, and the scarred up look for this film, and the till kinda 6. It just, what the fuck? It's just, with Chucky's attitude, his new personality, trying to give him more of a dark, humorous, kind of comedic, horrific style, still having that Chucky charm whenever he does the kills, which there's barely any at all. Seriously, he barely kills anyone in these goddamn films. The remake, he killed over a dozen. Over a dozen. These films, he doesn't even get past 5. That is a big F.U. to the audience. Chucky annoys me in this film. No, he doesn't annoy me in the other films. This one, he absolutely fucking does. He annoys the shit out of me in this film. I can't believe Brad Dourif said yes to this. What else? I'll just summarize it. Chucky gets mad at Tiffany because she's picking on him, and so he puts her soul into a doll as well to make her feel his pain, and they go on a road trip, also while killing folks 3 times. 4, actually. Yeah, 4. One guy, the guy who's like digging up Charles Lee Ray's grave towards the beginning of the 3rd act, and those 2 people who had the RV thing were killed off screen. Those were kind of pointless, but I don't really put them on the kill count list because, again, for these films, there's barely any kill count. Next. Basically, Jesse and Jade are accusing each other of committing the murder because Chuck and Tiffany are with them, so you can get the idea from there. One of my favorite kills would have to be Needle Nose, that's what they call him. This police guy who just picks on Jesse and Jade, and always stops them from seeing each other, no matter what, just for the fucking money. He even says it literally. He says, like, oh, you seem like really nice kids, but the money, you know? He says something literally like that. I'm not even joking. Watch the fucking movie. I don't want to go into 20 minutes this time, so I'm just going to wrap this up. Chucky and Tiffany are constantly bitching at each other. They have a huge fucking argument out of nowhere, which does not fit into anything, which pisses me off. And then that fucking chase scene where they're going to the graveyard. And what the hell is up with the amulet? You need an amulet now? What happened to the just get on your knees and put one hand on your vessel's soon-to-be new vessel's head, and one hand up like this, pointing to the sky, and doing your little fucking chant that you've done for like 7 films now. Thank God they got rid of that in the remake. Ugh. But seriously, you need a fucking amulet? In the next film, I'm gonna get through this real quick for the next film. In the next film, Seed of Chucky, Chucky barely says the chant. He starts saying it, but Tiffany interrupts him. Immediately, he doesn't try it again. The chant is said the whole way, except a little differently this time, in the 5th film, one time completely by Tiffany. But Chucky, he barely gets anything in that one, which only cements my hatred for this fucking film series even more. They're basically just trying to screw him over. Even though, I mean, there was no reason for Bride of Chucky to exist. It's kind of important for Bride of Chucky to have a reason to fucking exist. I will say that more than once. Not in this video, but for the other ones as well. This movie has no right or reason to fucking exist. I hate it. I hate you, Don Mancini, and fuck you, Universal Pictures, for coming back in the first place to do Child's Play 2. And that ending, that horrible fuck you to the audience to try to make this movie kind of scary, sort of, maybe, kind of ish, with the baby, that little demonic shit. It literally looks like bloody shit. And little jagged teeth. Okay, they kept the jagged teeth for Glenn in the next film, but that last little jab in of trying to be scary and all that. And two, you needed to call the film Bride of Chucky? They don't focus on that much. Very much at all in the film, I should say it that way. They just don't explore that kind of thing. I mean, Jesse and Jade kinda get married, and Chucky and Tiffany, well, Chucky proposes to Tiffany after seeing her kill the thieving couple for no reason at all. Seriously, why'd you do that? Just for fucking filler to make the movie 5 minutes longer. Yeah, 5 minutes longer. Are you fucking serious? And then, let's see, what else can I say about this movie that hasn't already been said? I know. Again, the fucking title! The movie should have been about Chucky ditching his idea to get into a new body and try to go after his old flame, who, in a big twist, turns out wants nothing to do with him anymore, because he left her behind, and she's moved on and found someone new. And, you know, Chucky forces her to be his bride or else he'll kill her. And towards the third act, tries putting her soul into a doll body to try and do that. That would have made more sense and been better. Or have it be a prequel to the first film, except just fuck the voodoo shit. Just keep them as humans, but have that kind of thing, you know? And instead, have it be called Child's Play 4, Chucky's Bride, or just Child's Play, Chucky's Bride. Something like that. Bride of Chucky? That title means nothing to me or this fucking movie franchise. Because Bride of Chucky basically means it's trying to focus on Tiffany. And Tiffany is a bit more nutty than Chucky is. But don't worry, she annoys the shit out of me in Seed, but Chucky annoys me, annoys the ever-loving fuck out of me in Bride. I will say it once again before I end off and get ready for the Seed of Chucky theme, which I gotta get ready for here after this one is uploaded. Holy shit, we're almost at 15 minutes. Wow. It's just... Please, Don Mancini, if you do an 8th movie to the original series and be a 7th sequel, but an 8th installment to the original Child's Play series. And if United Artists, the original company, does a sequel to Child's Play, that's awesome. Okay, I want to see that. But Don Mancini, maybe Universal, because Universal sucks at everything that they do anymore, except for joining DreamWorks. Why the fuck did you do that again? But if you do another sequel, a sequel to Cult of Chucky, and fuck the TV show, I don't know why you're doing that. Even though it's going to be a short-lived series like The Purge was, seriously, the fuck was up with that? It has sequels? Why was it made in the first place? It has a TV show that lasts for like 10, 13 episodes? The fuck's wrong with you? But if you do a direct sequel to Cult of Chucky, make it better. And here's what I mean. Bring Glenn back, bring Kyle back, fuck Andy, and fuck Tiffany. And fuck Nika. Those 5 things would make so much better of a sequel than any of these I have just now reviewed.